Today I want to talk to you about talking about sex. I do a lot of videos about communication because I really think the heart of good sex comes from really good conversation. So one thing I'm seeing a lot of my couples do is be critical of each other sexually. What's a criticism? Okay, so there's complaints and then there's criticisms. A criticism is something that is very global. It is essentially saying something is a character flaw in your partner. So an example of this could be, like say you guys are having a fight about dishes. If you're just bringing a complaint up, you might say, hey, I really could use, I noticed you didn't do the dishes yesterday. Could you please do them today? So the complaint is very specific to what just happened. It's not saying globally you're a bad person because you didn't do dishes. It's still asking for help because you're bothered that your partner didn't do the dishes, but you're only asking about that one instance, and it's really just a quick question, like, hey, can you please do those dishes? You said you'd do them. Okay, simple, relaxed, casual. Now, a criticism in that same situation would sound like this: you never do the dishes, or you're so lazy, which is like an attack on your character, or I try to plan with you all the time, but you never plan. You just so, like insert any negative name, or like basically global criticism. So a criticism is an attack. It's an attack on your character and who you are as a person. And it gives no wiggle room, like nobody's always or never anything. We're sometimes things and sometimes not things. That's the reality. Sometimes, because anytime you say, you're never this, then somebody can always give you an example of a time when they were, right? So, with that being said, in sex, criticism is a really bad thing, just like it is in a relationship. So I see couples criticizing each other sexually, and here's how I hear it. Somebody will say, you're just not a sexual person. That's a criticism. It's an attack on her character or his character, when they may just have lower desire than you. What's another criticism? You don't like sex. You're just not into sex. You're just not that kind of person. It's a criticism because you are attacking their character. It's different than saying, now a complaint about sex or a critique, like a nicer one would be, I feel like sometimes you don't enjoy what's happening, but I want you to enjoy it. Are there any ways that I can make it a better experience for you, or that you can make it a better experience for yourself? It's very specific to a recent incident or lately, but not like all together. Maybe she liked it in the past, maybe he liked it in the past, but right now they're just not enjoying it as much. Either way, though, a complaint is, it's identifying how you feel, but then it's asking for a need and letting your partner have something to say in a response. It's not just telling them overall, sorry, you're just bad at sex and I don't like it, or I just don't enjoy our time with each other, or you're not very good at what you do. They're very harsh. They're very critical. And so that's kind of the difference. And criticisms always go poorly. Actually, John Gottman writes about this. He's the researcher on marriage, and he talks about criticism being one of the factors that does contribute to divorce. Now, of course, it's not the only one. And it doesn't mean that if you sometimes criticize your partner that you're definitely doomed and going to divorce. But it does mean, like, criticism you really need to pay attention to and reframe the way you say things to your partner. It's better to soften your approach and think about how you come across so that you're not hurting them. I don't think it's wrong to to complain to your partner if you are struggling with something sexually. But ideally, it is better to tell them, what you want rather than what you don't want. Like, I'd love it if you really enjoyed yourself more. What are things we can do to make you have a little bit more fun sexually? Or, I love it when you kiss me this way, or I love it when you touch me this way. It's kind of guiding your partner towards what you want rather than away. That doesn't mean that you may never guide them away, and here's an example. I really would like it if you avoided putting your teeth on my penis. It kind of hurts. So that is an example of a complaint, but you're being careful about it, and you're just saying in general, you may say, in general, blowjobs are really good, but when those teeth hit, it just hurts a little bit, so just be careful. So either way, you're still like, even if you're complaining, you're trying to do it in a nice way, but you're not like saying overall she's bad at giving blowjobs or he's bad at giving blowjobs, right? So keep that in mind when you're trying to talk to your partner about sex. Oh, and like, share, and subscribe if you find these helpful. My website is www.therapistinstlouis.com.